Here's the trade-off to using autofocus on an anamorphic lens. All right, you guys, I'm on my Sony FX3 here, and if I go into the settings, all right, you guys, I'm on my Sony FX3 here with a Sirui Autofocus Anamorphic lens. Now, I love this lens, but this threw me off quite a bit when I first got it. On every Sony camera, you can go into your settings to do an anamorphic D-squeeze, which will help you view your footage to make it look a little bit more like what your eye sees. Here's how you turn on your D-squeeze on a Sony camera. If we're in the FX3 here, we go to the setup menu down here, and then we're going to go to menu option 7, which is display option. Then we're gonna go over and down to D-squeeze display. As you can see, it's off right now. If I turn on 1.3x, now if we go back to our shooting display, you can see the letterbox on either side showing that our footage is de-squeezed. Now, here's the problem with this. If I were to move this lens back and forth, I'm no longer getting any kind of autofocus response from the camera. Why is that? Well, when the camera's doing all this computation to de-squeeze, it can't, for some reason, do any autofocus. Why this is the case, I don't really know. It's more of an internal thing on the camera. So this is the major trade-off. If you want to see your footage de-squeezed in camera, then you are stuck using manual focus. But what I do is I turn off the de-squeeze, and it works perfectly fine with autofocus, with it looking like this. The only thing is you just have to understand it's gonna look a little bit distorted to your eye when you're looking in this monitor. What I would recommend is if you're shooting a lot of anamorphic stuff and you have to show a client what it looks like, or in order to really understand what you're shooting, it helps you to see the exact picture, I would just recommend getting an HDMI monitor. The Atomos Shinobi is a great option, and just plug it into the HDMI on your camera and turn on the anamorphic D-squeeze option, which will then give you an accurate representation of what you're really looking at, while also utilizing the autofocus in camera. All right, I know this tip isn't for everyone because not everyone has this lens and is shooting this way, but I felt like this was really important to let you know because there's really not a lot of information online, so hopefully this helps somebody. All right, you guys, I'm dropping one new filmmaking hack every single day for 30 days, so be sure to follow for more.